Good evening. Welcome. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Can I get a motion to approve tonight's agenda? Tom, second Rob. Any questions? All in favor? 6-0. Okay, Mr. Poole, Superintendent's report. Okay, they're going to go first. Okay. Before the superintendent's report, before the beginning of this meeting, we wanted to mention that each school, each of our 4 schools, they're given the opportunity throughout the year to showcase their arts and/or music programs by bringing student performers or sharing student artwork. In addition, each school also has the opportunity to share an update to the board and the community on the outstanding accomplishments of their student government councils. So without further ado, we have our Wading River student performance for this evening, and they will be singing 2 songs from their upcoming SRO theater production, Tut Tut. Thank you very much to the Wading River Thespians and their families for coming out tonight and giving us a little preview of the 5th grade SRO play. It's really exciting to have you guys here, and we appreciate you using time to perform for us. Thank you. And now we'll have Superintendent's report.
Thank you, President Anderson, and good evening, everyone. As we have been doing this year, I'm going to turn over the first part of the superintendent's report to our student ex officio trustee, and tonight that is Tim Manzello. Thanks, Tim.
Thank you. So in the high school, congratulations to all the students and staff who played a role in the amazing concert this past Monday night. Fantastic job, one and all. Congratulations to Sean Daney, Bradley Doherty, Matthew Eiberger, Gavin Trezza, and Brian Vogel for receiving their Eagle Scout recognition on Sunday, March 5th. Huge thank you to the entire Shoreham-Wading River community for supporting the junior-senior auction this past Saturday night. Special thanks to our junior advisor, Mrs. Kavanaugh, and senior advisor, Mrs. Donnelly, for all their hard work. Shoreham-Wading River High School student Anya Minty has moved on as a finalist in the annual National Merit Scholarship Program. The academically talented senior has met all the requirements to advance to the finalist standing. In the sports, congratulations to the SWR competitive cheer team. They competed in the state championships on February 18th and placed second in New York State in their division. Congrats to the SWR girls basketball team who competed in the LIC this past weekend. They finished as the runner-up. Congratulations to Shoreham River High School's Benjamin Wajimirsky and Madison Zellen. Each was honored with an all-county academic award at the Suffolk County Indoor Track Dinner. Congratulations to Benjamin again for his state title in indoor track and field. Ben was a member of the intersectional distance medley relay team that finished first at the state championships. The spring high school athletic season began Monday, March 13th, with teams practicing. Games will be beginning in the next few weeks. Please come out to support our spring athletes. The middle school spring season will begin on March 27th. In the arts, the Shoreham River High School Tri-M Music Honor Society will host its 6th annual Sweets and Treats recital on Friday, March 24th at 7 p.m. in the high school gym. Please come out and support while listening to performances by our high school Tri-M members while eating delicious desserts. For Shoreham-Wading River High School students, Kayla Bodenberg, Elise Brooks, Noah Parinello, and Caitlin Roberts recently attended Adelphi University's press day with the English teacher and journalism club advisor, Sarah Tren. Congratulations to the journalism club member, Juliana O'Neill, who won honorable mention in Best Feature Article category for the Quill Awards. High school senior and artist Kristen Totora was featured in the Art League of Long Island's Go Ape Advanced Placement Exhibition at the Tangleson Gallery in Dix Hills. Congratulations, Kristen. The board has also asked me to give an update on my college search. So, my college search began towards the end of my junior year. I was in contact with multiple schools looking to play golf. After a good summer and senior year, I received multiple Division III offers. All said and done, I applied to 14 schools, unsure of what I really wanted. After narrowing it down, I still am yet to decide where I will attend. My top schools are currently Penn State, Hobart, Fairfield, and Villanova, all of which I have been accepted to. I'm leaning towards attending Penn State to major in professional golf management and pursue a career in the golf industry. I'd like to thank my guidance counselor, Mr. Rosado, for helping me throughout this process, along with my coaches and teachers who took the time to write recommendations for me.
Thank you. Thank you for your report, and congrats on your entry into your top 3 schools and more. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, and just to finish up with the report, some news from our 3 other buildings. Over at the middle school, last week, Ms. Hamsky and Ms. Lissette took their 6th grade students on a field trip to see Harriet Tubman at the West Hampton Beach Performing Arts Center. A great experience for the students that attended. A thank you to the PTO, who sponsored a St. Patrick's Day dance on Friday, March 10th. Over 100 students came. A great time was held by all. And save the date on your calendar on March 30th. The middle school theater production, I believe March 29th perhaps as well, of Into the Woods is being held over at the middle school. Over at Wading River, we had a great teaser this evening for the standing room only play. They're getting ready to take a trip to ancient Egypt with the play called Tut Tut, which is about a prince and a pauper tale, taking place on Wednesday and Thursday, March 22nd and March 23rd, right here in the high school auditorium. Last week, the 5th graders went to New York City to see Aladdin on Broadway. A tremendous success. Included a special talk afterwards by the actors in the play to the students. One of their words of wisdom for being a success was to be sure to find ways to have fun in whatever you pursue, and I agree. And I have to give a commendation to the Wading River Newspaper Club. The Wading River Journalist came out with their first edition this year of Wildcat Tracks. It is really informative. It's about the school. It's really an interesting eclectic group of articles about student life at Wading River. Really well written, 30 articles, so congratulations to the journalism students over at Wading River. Really proud of the writing that they were able to accomplish. And I'm sure all the students at Wading River are enjoying reading about their school as well. At Miller Avenue hosted an assembly recently with the St. Charles Hospital on healthy eating habits and eating the rainbow on March 7th. Students engaged in an interactive lesson and were able to pick a piece of fruit at the end of the event. And on March 8th, Miller Avenue students enjoyed the Cat in the Hat Plaza theatrical production. They performed a wonderful show for our students, and students had a great time. Announcement, on April 19th at 6:30 p.m., there will be a parent workshop presentation here at the high school from the Suffolk County Department of Health on the dangers of vaping and edible THC. It'll be right here in the high school auditorium. We will send out a few more reminders on that. This evening, we do have a few presentations on the agenda. We have a legislative committee update, so I'd like to welcome the members of the legislative committee here this evening, who will be presenting on the committee's work and legislative priorities. We'll have a quick UPK update for plans for the 23-24 school year. Mr. Arcuri will be presenting the second in a series of budget workshops for the budget for the 23-24 school year, and I know as well we have student government reports. And I want to mention as well that on the personnel agenda tonight, we have two tenure appointments administratively in the school district. These are 2 building administrators that have at their heart the love of students, the care for the program. They are dedicated, committed. They are 24-hour administrators in the school district. They have done a fantastic job since the day they got here in all areas, academic, social, emotional, and they look out for the children here. They are incredible members of our team, and the work that they've done over the last 3 or 4 years to support the district program, keep students in school, absolutely outstanding. I couldn't be more pleased to have them on the agenda tonight for tenure, and that is Miss Principal Claudia Smith and Assistant Principal John Halonia.
We'll go straight into reports and reviews, and I believe the middle school is up first with Mr. Van introducing the advisors and students.
Good evening, and thank you very much for allowing us to speak to you a little bit tonight. I'd like to invite up Student Council Advisor Christine Bradley, along with 2 members of the council, Kate McQuaid and Emily Martinez.
Good evening, members of the board, education, administration, and the community. I'm Kate McQuaid.
And I'm Emily.
We are here this evening to share the work of the Middle School Student Council.
Since the last time we saw you in the fall, we worked to bring the school together to show a sea of blue in the middle school in November for Diabetes Awareness Day.
The Student Council also designed multiple spirit weeks to get students and staff members to join together, one before winter break and one before spring break, which is coming in just a few weeks. When we design spirit weeks, we try to think of ways to get the most people involved and to find ways to include everyone in the themes of the day. We love to see a lot of people participating.
We also support Wildcats with Character by providing announcements about each month's theme and reminding students to try to incorporate the Wildcats with Character theme in day-to-day activities. We are also very excited that we have been given approval to start an animal shelter fundraiser right after spring break. We will be working in the school to gather supplies and gift cards to donate to local shelter during their busy spring season.
We are excited about the upcoming events and thank you for your support of our Middle School Student Council.
Thank you for your update. Sounds wonderful. Next, we have our high school student government report with Mr. Puglisi to introduce the students and their advisors. Or actually, we have Mr. Holonia. Hello.
So I'd just like to thank you all for being here tonight and giving us the opportunity to update you. We've got a whole number of our student officers from student government and class officers here to present tonight. First, I'd like to introduce our advisors, Ms. Marianne Aegis and Ms. Britt Davis, who will introduce the students.
Hello, thank you for having us tonight. With us here, we have many members of the high school student government. For the senior class, we have President Courtney Green, we have Kaya Condon, Gabrielle Ziegler, Danny Colon. For the junior class, we have Elizabeth Sabino and Emily Sherrill. For the sophomore class, we have Emma Donnelly and Giovanna Costa. And for the freshman class, we have Anthony Mango.
The kids have put together a nice little slideshow for all of you to understand and see all the cool things that have been happening at the high school. It's been really exciting for us to have a winter pep rally this year, and now we're planning for a spring pep rally and a spring dance, which hasn't really happened in the past few years. So they've been working to really bring some spring school spirit back to the school, especially after the pandemic and everyone being so separate. It's been a big task, and they've taken it on with grace. So they're excited to share that with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So what's new with the senior class? We've been doing prom planning, and for this year we're doing a powder puff, which we did last year during the fall pep rally, and bringing it back this spring as a fun activity to get the whole school together and outside in the spring weather. For prom planning, we're doing fundraising and budgeting to include everything we would want at a prom. We recently booked a DJ and a photographer and began planning smaller items as well. We recently had our junior auction last Saturday. Juniors and seniors worked together to collect baskets and donations to raffle off to community members as a fundraiser for our proms and other events we have this spring. We also did a clothing sale where we sold both class of 2023 and regular SWR gear for our class to wear and acted as a small fundraiser. And then finally we did superlatives, where voting went out to the senior class for superlatives, and the winners were announced at our winter pep rally where their yearbook photos were taken with props.
Hi, my name's Elizabeth. I'm the junior class president, and our biggest task for juniors was our junior-senior class auction, which just happened this past Saturday, as Gabby mentioned. It was a huge success. We had 398 raffles in total, which I think surpasses previous years. And we have been at meetings to organize the bags, and like I always say, we use social media to generate a lot of support, letting our peers know that this was a huge fundraiser for prom, so we can have an amazing prom just after the pandemic and get everyone together. So that has been our biggest task, and like I said, it was a huge success. We had volunteers from the freshmen all the way to the seniors helping run baskets, set up, and it was a great way to earn service hours for National Honor Society. So overall, it's a great way to unite the school. And then now that that's over, we're in prom preparation for our junior proms. We had a meeting to organize what decorations we were going to use from all this money that we raised, where we were going to plan it, posting on social media. So that has been our biggest task, having meetings to talk about these things. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Emma Donnelly. I'm the Vice President for 2025.
My name's Giovanna Costa. I'm the secretary for the sophomore class. So our biggest fundraiser is our donut sales. We sell the donuts for $3 each. We try to do these sales around once a month around like bigger holidays. For example, this Friday we're doing a sale with donuts themed around St. Patrick's Day. We recently switched from Duck Donuts to Glen Wayne Donuts based on student opinions, so we did this to try and increase sales, and the sales have been very successful, and the money is going towards future events such as our junior prom next year.
We've had many fundraisers and events this year, but one of our biggest events we've had was collections for U.S. soldiers overseas in Poland. We collected personal items like chapsticks, toothpaste, and hand warmers. We also collected handwritten letters from students and teachers. We had over 200 personal items and over 200 handwritten letters. What was amazing about this event was that we were able to get feedback from the soldiers. They sent videos and photos of them receiving the items. They also sent over a thank you for all the donations, and we will be trying to do further events just like this.
Good afternoon, and thank you to the Board of Education. I am Anthony Mango, the president of the freshman 2026 class. I'm very excited to share all the accomplishments we've been doing this year. We've been working really hard to fundraise for our school, and it's been awesome to see everyone come together and make this happen. For Valentine's Day, the freshman class did a Hershey Kiss fundraiser. This is where people could buy a bag of kisses to give to their friends. This was amazing to see everyone spreading kindness and positivity around the school. We additionally had our bake sale that was a huge success. In our class's opinion, the red velvet cupcakes were definitely everyone's favorite. We will be selling those again next year for sure. But most importantly, we're having a lot of fun along the way. We're gaining good experience and working together. This was a great way to see that we can accomplish anything when we work together as a class. So. Additionally, this December, the student government hosted a door decorating contest. The theme was Snowman versus Gingerbread Man, with many home bases participating. Each were provided with a base for one of the frames. Yep. And in the end, Miss Donnelly's room A206 won the contest.
So our Winter Spirit Week theme was rivals to generate some buzz for our Friday volleyball game, which was composed of staff members on a blue and a gold team, which was really fun. So Monday was PJ versus professional, Tuesday was nursery versus nursing home, Wednesday was country versus country club, Thursday was game day, so wear gold or blue, and Friday was 70s versus 2000s. And I saw throughout the week the rivals theme really generated like a fun excitement. Everyone was really anticipating the game. which created a bunch of student spirit and school spirit because everyone was like, which team are they going to support? Which color are they going to go for? Which staff members are they, going to side with? And that's why the Rivals theme was perfect for our Spirit Week, and it was a really great way to have buzz and excitement and really brought everyone together. As you can see in our picture, everyone eagerly watching the game, seeing who was going to win. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Courtney Green, the class president for 2023. This year we were able to have a winter pep rally. We were able to experience this in past years. We don't always have winter pep rallies, so we were able to get all the sports together and sports teams involved in this pep rally. So we had an opening with Carter Rubin singing from The Voice. He kicked it off with the national anthem, and we also had Tori Centorino, a junior. He made a video that was hilarious and left many people laughing throughout the day. He went around to all the teachers and their thoughts on who was going to win, either Mr. Pogese or Mr. Halonia's team. It was really cool because we were surprised by Mr. Pogese's team. He came out with the Top Gun theme. They made shirts, and he came out on like a Zamboni, and it looked like a spaceship. It was great. I loved it. And then Mr. Halonia's team, they came out. They were the yellow team, and they were, had spray silly string, and they were just throwing funfetti like in the air. It was fun, and it was really a great way to get our school together. This pep rally, really, like, the whole school was involved, and there was a lot of kids. I really felt like it was such a good experience for everyone to get together and watch the teachers play each other. It really added some fun, and really brought people together because of like the rivals and seeing the teachers play like either on blue or the gold team. So it really was a success. In addition, the Wildcat cheer team did their competition routine at our pep rally, and they did an amazing job. So we were really thankful to have them there as well to cheer us on and get the crowd going. So it was really a success in all. And everyone's hard work paid off, so we had fun. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Daniel Colon, secretary of the senior class. And for the pep rally, there was a teachers' volleyball game, and the students watched in the bleachers and cheered on their favorite teachers. The crowd was loud and proud on the bleachers and would cheer as their favorite teachers made a good play throughout the game. It was very intense, and the final result was Mr. Pugliese's team winning one round and Mr. Halonia's team winning the other two.
Another fun event that will be taking place in late March is our spring dance. Last week, we decided on the theme of neon. It will be open to all students grade 9 through 12, and we'll have cool music and a DJ. I know a lot of kids are planning to attend, and there's a lot of excitement around the dance.
Good evening, my name is Emily Sherrill, and I'm here with the junior class. So at the night in Neon Dance, we're going to be having a toiletries drive for Long Island Lending a Helping Hand. We will be looking for things like shampoo and conditioner, toothpaste, toothbrushes, toilet paper, soap, those kinds of products. It's a wonderful place that's been helping the community since 2014. It is run by Dawn Lang, who's actually a bus driver for the district. I've been volunteering there for over a year now, and it is a wonderful place that helps the people most in need in our community. I would definitely recommend, if you ever have time to volunteer, if you ever have extra clothes, extra food, that is the place to bring it because they help so many people. Thank you.
Our plans for the rest of the year are to have a powder puff that will be an event on the weekend. This will almost be like a homecoming, and all the grades K through 12 will be able to attend the event. We want to have clubs and tents so we can advertise some of the clubs that we have in our school. And then next up, we have elections for next year. We need to find people who are willing to be active in our community and school. So attendance after school is something that many kids have been struggling with, and we think that that should be thought about before considering becoming an officer. For our spring pep rally, we plan to do another week of themes students can dress up as. Also, the varsity sports teams will be celebrated. and we're always looking for new ideas to make Pep Rally enjoyable for everyone. Our senior prom will be held at Giorgio's, and we will plan to have a DJ and food catered as well. Thank you.
I just want to thank each of you for your very well thought out presentation and for taking the time to come for a second time this year. It's such a great opportunity for us to see all the wonderful things that you're doing at the high school. And, you know, I just want to commend you for the purposeful fundraising that you do and the purposeful event planning. You could really see it come out in this presentation, and that it not only impacts our community, and yourselves, but then the greater community, like the organization Long Island Helping Hands, and then even our soldiers overseas being impacted by your good work. So I commend you for that. And, you know, I just wanted to let Mr. Halonia know if he's aware, now that he has tenure, there are some openings for maintenance positions if you know how to operate the floor polisher. So, you know, you could check OLAS for that. Oh, is okay, awesome. You even better. All right, thank you so much for coming. I don't know if you guys want to stick around for the legislative committee update, but I know you all have a lot on your plate, so feel free to head out if that's if that works better for you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Next up, we have our legislative committee update, and Mr. Poole is going to introduce the committee members.
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, we have a very active legislative committee in the school district. This year we have over 20 members on it. They've had a lot of meetings. We've attended workshops and presentations. We've met with our legislators, and I'm really grateful for the community involvement in the legislative committee. And without further ado, I'd like to invite up several legislative committee members that are here this evening. We're going to present the legislative priorities for the 22-23 school year.
I know. It's blinding.
Good evening. My name is Jessie Byrne, and I'm chairperson for the Legislative Committee this year. Tonight, we are going to share some of the top priorities that our committee has agreed to focus on in order to benefit our school district. We've had discussions with local legislators about these priorities, and we'll continue those conversations to express the importance of each of them. The priorities we are sharing with you tonight include a primary objective, as well as the reasoning for each. And here they are in no particular order. I'll start with safety and security and then turn it over to my colleagues. The first one is safety and security, and we believe that New York State should add an expense-driven aid line for additional revenue for schools for safety and security expenditures. If not, they should implement a tax cap exclusion for annual increases in critical physical safety and cybersecurity expenses. Without secured funding, rising security costs may negatively impact the budget for instructional programs for students.
Next, we are looking for the state to fulfill their commitment to provide considerable relief from costly mandates. Not all mandates imposed by the state are funded, therefore obligating the district to find the funds to support them. If not, they must implement a tax cap exclusion for unfunded mandates to allow districts to meet the costs of unfunded mandates without impacting the budgets for instructional programs for students.
Hi, my name is Erin Saunders-Morano. Next, we would like to maintain programs while simultaneously supporting our fiscal health. As the cost to facilitate important programs for our district continue to rise, New York State must continue to increase support for these rising costs. Currently, the cap on unallocated fund balances should be increased from the current 4 to 8% to protect student programs from volatile cost increases. Finally, we believe mental health resources need to be funded. The funding received from the Federal CARES Act currently supports a district behaviorist and mentoring program, and it's set to expire. New York must continue to fund the rising mental health needs of students. As a committee, we will continue to work together in the best interest of our school district. Thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you. Thanks for coming out to present on these. This four-pronged approach for advocacy really, I think, encapsulates everything that we currently are hoping to see at the legislative level. And just want to thank everyone on the committee for your time to meet not only on a regular basis here at the district, but also attend various legislative events throughout the community. So thank you for your work.
Yeah, if I could say a few words also, I'd like to thank you for coming out tonight. I also like to thank the other board members that are part of the committee, as well as yourselves. You know, we spend a lot of time just talking about what's important for the school district. And, you know, your input, and some of you have had kids go through the district over the years, so you've been able to provide a lot of background to just how do we make this district better, right, over time, and how as things change. And, you know, just that support, that involvement is exactly what the board looks for. It's important to get feedback from the community, and it's through these committees that we actually get that input. And, you know, again, I just want to thank that legislative committee's grown from initially a handful of people to, what did you say it was now, about 20 people?
Over 20.
Yeah,
Oh, wow, that's
so
great.
so it's gotten really a lot of momentum over the years. So thank you, everybody.
The presentation that we have in our board docs, is that, can you just remind us where it's located, where it lives on the web?
That will be posted under board presentations and
Okay.
under legislative advocacy, so that the committee will put a cover letter over the brochure, and we'll mail that to the legislators that are impacted for our school district over the next several weeks.
Okay, great. All right, thank you. Next up, Mr. Poole, your universal pre-K update.
Okay, thank you. Just a brief update on UPK in the school district. Some information on there. What is universal pre-kindergarten? I won't read all the bullets. Our funding remains the same this year at $5,400 per pupil served. So district only receives funding after it verifies that a student has been in a UPK seat for the year, and then the district is, the $5,400 for the student is awarded to the school district. District only provided funding equivalent to the number of students it serves for any given year. The executive budget that was released in January included a proposed allocation for our district for the 23-24 school year of about $500,000, which is equivalent to 95 seats. This year's UPK program is going amazingly well. It continues to be as it was last year, fully funded by the New York State UPK funding and additionally supported through the Federal CARES Act funds. We have 75 students enrolled, 2 in-district sections at Wading River provided by Scope, and 2 sections at St. Anselm's provided by the St. Anselm's staff. For this year's current program, the lottery had a total of 89 applicants. By the time after the lottery ended and the time we got into the fall, the wait list had been worked through, and currently there are 0 students on any UPK wait list in the school district. And we continue to review. As you know, this is our 2nd year, so the 32 students that were in the district-run UPK program last year, we continue to review their progress and to look for a return on investment on participating in a district UPK program, and I look forward to completing that review at the end of the school year of how those students fare. So here are the plans for the 2023-24 school year. We will be able to accommodate 72 total seats. At a recent meeting, the Board of Education approved 2 sections at St. Anselm's of 36 students, and tonight on the agenda is to approve a vendor for 2 sections similar to this year at Wading River of 36 students. Funding again will be a New York State UPK funds, be about $390,000, and we have one more year, it's the last year, that we can apply other federal funding through the CARES Act grants to the UPK program in the school district. Really important to note, this is a one-year plan. It was a one-year plan in year 1, it was a one-year plan in year 2, and it's a one-year plan for next year. Truly, future years will be dependent on New York State funding. Future years will be dependent on how much space is available in the school district and how much space is available in community-based organizations. You may recall last year we did several requests for proposals to offer off-campus services. This year again, and only one vendor responded to off-campus sites for district UPK students in our area. So a one-year plan, and we'll have to continue to consider the future. As I noted, long-term UPK planning needed, some of the considerations, permanent UPK programs, funding into the future. This is a lottery-based program from the state, so grant-funded or not, and continue with a vendor-based program. I do want to note that the Legislative Committee did not bring this up or mention this evening, but a good part of the work this year has been advocacy with our legislators on flexibility in UPK funding. The per pupil dollar amount does not meet the current cost of what it costs to educate a UPK student, whether it's in district through an in-district a site with a vendor or out of district. $5,400 a year. It doesn't seem reasonable to anybody. $5,400 a year for a full year of UPK. So we've had individual meetings with legislators. We've sent an advocacy letter to our legislators. Had some positive feedback. It was a question at the recent Longwood Legislative Breakfast. It is on the minds of districts across New York State that the funding calculation for this, districts need greater flexibility and how that full allocation is used to best meet the needs of students and the cost in the school district. So several of those items for flexibility, per student allocations, increasing those to reflect current costs, the ability to service in-need students first rather than a full lottery program, and some options, and this would be a space consideration. Could it be a full-day program or a half-day program? Right now, the funding is strictly tied to full-day, 5,400, lottery-based, and that's it. So I want to take a minute to update the board and the community. I do know that very shortly, and I'll thank Ms. Mahoney, who doubles as our UPK coordinator in the school district for all of her efforts in UPK, but in February we awarded St. Anselm's. March 14th tonight, hopefully we'll award scope, the services for the in-district program. The online application will open, mailer postcards will go out, and then the submission for applications will close on March 31st, and we anticipate being able to hold the lottery on April 4th this year, which is sooner than in years past, which is good news. It allows a little more time for families to plan for that, and again, that will be live streamed again from district office. So any questions on the UPK program and the plans for next year?
In years past, we did receive funding late, right? Additional funding last year, was it?
This was the first year that the additional funding was available in the executive budget run. And
Okay.
I believe the statutory language last year included a language for additional funding this year, which allowed the executive budget to include that dollar value. So this is the first year we had advance notice. In the past, we became aware of it in April, late April, of what that additional funding would be. And it's a big scramble to go out to RFP, to consider how or where we could do it. But this year, the dollar value came in sooner. And as you could tell, we have 95 seats, but we can't access the other 23 seats. There just isn't any place to put the students.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Poole, as you said, this is a one-year plan. Advocacy efforts are ongoing in terms of our district looking to our legislators and, you know, at the state level as well to expand not only funding, but fund options for the utilization of that funding. And so for parents who are asking about the following year, the answer is just unknown at this point, correct?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
All right, next we have Mr. Arcuri for our second 23-24 budget presentation.
Good evening. As Ms. Anderson just stated, tonight is the second presentation regarding the 2023-2024 budget. It is important to note, as Mr. Poole mentioned, there are some programs that are included inside of the 2023-24 program that will be funded through available federal grants. The during the school day programs, the full-time elementary math academic interventionist, a .5 elementary reading teacher, a district-wide psychologist, high school mentor positions, partial funding support for the UPK program, professional development opportunities, extracurricular programs, English as a new language enrichment and support opportunity, special education summer programs, the Summer Science Research Program, the Summer Rise Theater Program, and also there is some remaining funding to equip the new outdoor learning spaces at the Miller Avenue, Wading River, and Prodell Middle School. So it's important to note that what is presented here is funded for this last school year with available grant funding. So as we develop the 24-25 budget, we will look to find alternate funding sources in order to include these programs. I'll get the direction soon. Oh, there it is. 2023-24 budget maintains all programs that are in the 22-23 budget, maintains current class size, lowers the use of reserves, includes enhancements, reflects economies and efficiencies, supports maintenance and facilities, and provides funding to support improvements related to safety and security of both facilities and the network infrastructure. That is a picture from the high school winter concert that was last Monday. A fantastic concert here inside the auditorium. You were really able to see all of our enhancements done as a part of the bond inside of this particular space, and see a phenomenal performance by the high school music program.
These photos were a nice addition, nice update. Thank you.
That was a great thought that someone shared with me. So we are going to be changing those photos out for each and every budget presentation
fun.
to change it up a tad. I think it's a great change, and I thank Mr. Poole for his guidance.
Some visual interest.
As I previously mentioned, the 23-24 budget does include some program enhancements: unified bowling, fall cheer program, 4 new electives: high school sign language 4, peer mentoring Spanish, community relations, and AP pre-calculus, funding for maintenance projects, new floor tile around the middle school library, a maker space at the Wading River Library, replacement of security cameras and card access control readers, replacement of water fountains with bottle filling stations, and there's also funding for various pieces of equipment, middle school choral risers, high school fitness, health and wellness program, high school art program, security vehicle, Miller Avenue AP room replacement lunch tables, lacrosse time clocks. It's also important to note this is part of the budget development process, so it is possible that as the budget continues to refine itself over the next couple of weeks, that funding within the equipment category can actually change to different budget codes if needs change, because equipment budgeting is very, very specific. You are not able to transfer equipment funding in between building budget codes. So until the last day that the board adopts the budget, the equipment funding can change between buildings as the final needs are actually finalized. We always think we have the final plan, but there are things that change. And I just want to point that out, that the total overall budget will not change, but it is possible that money is able to be switched between buildings if the priorities change. A little bit of the history for the tax levy. Over the past 6 years, the district did not levy to its limit for a total of a little less than $305,000. This is important because that, by not levying to the tax levy limit, the district forever lowers the tax burden to the community. And inside of the environment where continually rising costs, however, the tax cap formula prevents us from increasing anything greater than a 2% increase plus or minus exclusions. That does add up. So if you look at 2021, when we did not levy $271,655, the district lost revenue once in 2021, the same amount in 21-22, the same amount in 22-23, and in 23-24, there's $1 million that we were able to save the taxpayers, but the district does have to continue to make up for that shortfall. And that's why we always consider levying to the limit, because our tax levy, as you could see, over a 6-year period, the average levy is 1.24%. And the current inflation rate is running close to an 8% number. So it is important to note we are levying conservatively by only leveling to the limit. Budget history the last 6 years, an average increase of 2.25%. For 23-24, there will only be a single proposition, Proposition 1. It is the expenditure budget. Proposed budget reflects a 2.16% increase over the voter-approved 22-23 budget for $1,792,253. On February 28th, we discussed a little bit less than 72% of the total budget. We covered employee salaries and the employee benefits codes. Tonight, we will discuss a little less than 21%. We will cover the categories of transportation, debt and transfers, district-wide expenses, and associated special education costs. Moving into transportation, the budget provides funding for both in-district and out-of-district transportation. We bus for all students. We do not have a walking zone. There was a safety study done a number of years ago between 25A, William Floyd Parkway, the lack of sidewalks, as well as the lack of streetlights in part of our community. We are unable to create a walking zone. So we do provide a seat for every student inside of the district. We provide transportation for field trips at the athletic program. And unanticipating busing needs as they arise. Whether it is a student that becomes injured and is required to have a minibus, whether it's a homeless family that suddenly becomes homeless. So we do provide funding inside of the budget in order to accommodate these unplanned, unforeseen needs. The budget reflects increases outlined in the 4th year of a 5-year transportation contract. All known private and parochial and special education transportation needs have been included inside of the budget. We do occasionally share routes with neighboring districts. So when we are able to share a route, our cost for that particular vehicle is less than if we were just paying for the vehicle ourselves. So if we are able to concretely identify routes that can be shared, we do budget based on the shared bus value. We were able to reduce the need for one large in-district 5-hour bus. That is a $90,000 savings. So we were able to trim our transportation routes down in order to bring that savings forward. The number of contingent buses and matrons have been reduced, and transportation the dollar change year over year is a little less than $100,000, a 1.75% change, and transportation makes up 6.84% of the total budget. Debt and transfers. This is interest on tax anticipatory notes. Tax levy payments do not begin until December, so the possibility exists in order to fund the needs between July 1st and December 1st. We have to borrow funds, and in order to do that, there is an interest cost associated with that particular borrowing. So in this particular category, there is interest included inside of the budget. The annual bond payment, principal and interest associated with the 2015 voter-approved bond. The final payment for this bond is June 15th, 2032. As the overall principal continues to reduce as we make payments, the associated interest will also reduce. Interest and principal for the 2016 energy performance contract has been included in the 23-24 budget. It's important to note that the district made the final payment on the 2007 energy performance contract on September 16th, 2022. So a payment of principal and interest of approximately $444,000 has been reduced out of the 23-24 budget. The transfer to cafeteria fund budget line, this particular line transfers money over into the cafeteria fund in order to support the district-wide food service program. With rising food and operating costs, this budget line has been increased by $84,000 for 2023-24. And transfer to special aid fund, this fund accounts for the cost for summer school services for students with disabilities. Overall, this category was reduced by a little bit more than $404,000, or 9.26%, and this category makes up 4.67% of the total budget. District-wide expenses. Funding for district-wide budget codes provides the means towards delivering world-class opportunities through access to extensive BOCES career tech education program, instructional technology programs. We offer extensive field trips and cultural arts programs, ongoing renewal of text collections, diverse college and career readiness activities and events, extensive co-curricular activities, an instrumental program beginning in grade 3, robotics program, elementary and secondary library makerspaces, theatrical performances, instructional equipment, student access to wide-ranging database and online support, Additional services that are not building specific relate to Board of Education, auditing services, legal and fiscal agent services, property and liability insurance, cyber insurance, central printing, district treasurer, district purchasing agent, district clerk, district meetings, judgment and claims. And on the instructional side, funding for equipment, textbooks, supplies and materials, musical instrument repairs, field trips, arts and education programs, co-curricular activities, library books and periodicals, OC-Ed programs, BOCES and instructional services, guidance, psychology, and charter school tuition. It's important to note, under the district-wide expense area, it's a broad category. It makes up approximately 4.53% of the total budget. So it's all of the supporting items needed in order to run the district's infrastructure as well as the actual program when it comes to the liability side. There have been reductions in certain areas for postage, memberships, and travel and conference. And funding has been increased to support equipment purchases related to the high school and music programs, liability and cyber insurance coverage, BOCES program services, administrative costs, fiction and nonfiction textbooks, legal advertising and legal fees, supplies and materials, including the cost of paper. So overall, this particular category increased a little bit more than $316,000, or an 8.99% increase. And as I previously mentioned, it's about 4.5% of the total budget value. Any questions before I move on to special education?
The liability and cyber insurance coverage, has that gone up significantly?
Yes, the liability insurance, we are looking at a 14 to 16% increase for 23-24. A lot of that has to do with the ability for different. There is a longer window where claims could be brought against a school for a past activity. So due to some state law changes, the possibility exists where someone could bring suit against the district for something that occurred a number of years ago, where there used to be a statute of limitation for certain items. Now they can go back almost indefinitely.
I know we've spent money, considerable money, on infrastructure for IT, things that make the system more secure.
That's
So
going
is
to be
there
on the cyber side.
Okay.
The cyber insurance, we are looking at a 50 to 75% premium increase, even after we are going to dual authentication, even after we're putting up more firewalls, hardening our infrastructure, putting many obstacles in the way of someone accessing our databases, accessing our district network, due to the cost of that insurance and due to the cost of the payout when a cyber attack does occur. The cyber insurance premiums have just increased exponentially, and there's a great concern that we might not even be able to get coverage, not just Shoreham, but in general, there might not be a vendor willing to provide coverage.
Is that something that might go to the state level then?
It's possible that could go to the state level. It's possible that could go to federal level. We were one of the first districts to obtain cyber insurance when it was first available. And Mr. Esposito and the technology team has done the best effort to keep us ahead of the curve, keep us ahead of, we are always one step in advance. We are always have the dual authentication, have the longer password, have the password change.
Yeah, this impacts, a lot of personal information, right? Payroll, student information, so it's got to be secure.
We have student information, and the hardest thing is if you suffer a cyber attack, doing the ongoing oversight, the federal credit checking to make sure that we have a student ID, we have their social security number, even though it is all encrypted, it's still there. It still exists. We would have to provide monitoring services for years. And just as Suffolk County went through their experience, it's a endless effort to bring the systems back up, and also to provide confidence to the staff, students, and parents that their data is safe. So we are continuing to do our best, and we are continuing to stay with a strong infrastructure so we are eligible for coverage, but that coverage is coming at a greater cost.
Okay, thank you for that.
Any other questions? Special education. Funding special education budget codes allows for the following: student placements to meet individual student needs, out-of-district placements including BOCES, residential placements, related services and support for teaching staff, school-based counseling, speech and language services, occupational therapy, physical therapy, behavior consultation, educational consultation and coaching days, itinerant services, hearing and vision, equipment purchases to support the following programs: Learning Center, RISE program, integrated co-teaching and resource room, program supports for secondary integrated co-teaching academic support period, humanities labs for students in the High Learning Center program at the high school, job coaching opportunity for students in the high school RISE program, and tutoring services for home instruction. Services from 2022-23 remain the same. It's really important that that's understood. Even though the overall special education budget is going down from the previous year, that does not mean we are offering less services. That just means we anticipate having less students inside of residential placements, where we were able to reduce tuition costs based on our anticipated needs for 23-24. We were able to reduce the budget in order to make up for rising costs. There were rising costs, so we went out to, we have requested proposals for all special education services, and the range of increases were between 3% for some, up to 50%, depending upon the type of service. So with an overall decrease of $86,660 and a category that makes up 4.45% of the total budget, we are not reducing any type of special education service. We just reduced various contingency funds related to out-of-district placements or BOCES placements based on what we feel the projection is. Ms. Von Eschen and her team has done a great job projecting forward on what the needs are for 23-24. So we were able to bring this budget in a little bit less than the previous year. And I know I'm repeating myself, but I think it's important that everyone hears we are not reducing services. Overall, as I previously mentioned, expenditure budget's increasing 2.16%. The tax levy's going up a little less than 1.61%, 1.6054. State aid has a large increase, primarily driven by our increase in foundation aid. The state aid presented here this evening is still based on the governor's executive budget. It will hopefully be updated when they adopt their budget on or about April 1st. Our revenue budget presentation is April 4th, so hopefully they have a timely state budget, so we're able to present final state aid numbers, and hopefully they only go up from here. They usually do, so I don't anticipate any large swings, but it's important to note this is still only based on their executive budget. With regards to other local revenue, there is a slight decrease, primarily driven by out-of-district tuition. We don't anticipate having as many high-need students coming into our district as we have previously, so our tuition revenue will be less than the previous year. Appropriated fund balance has a slight decrease. We don't anticipate using any of the tax reduction reserve money at this time. Employee retirement system, applying the same use of reserves, $1 million as the previous year. Teachers retirement system, we don't plan on using any of that reserve. So there is a reduction in reserve use and unemployment reserve. Again, a reduction in reserve use down to $104,000. So your total revenue, $1,792,253, also 2.16%. Any questions on the budget summary?
The contribution to the employee and teacher retirement reserve, that's it's a formula that's given to us by the state?
The
On an annual
percentage that
basis?
the district must pay for
Yeah.
the pension costs related to the teacher retirement system and employee retirement system is given to the district by both of those agencies.
Okay, so that's based on performance of whatever their pension is and the
Whatever
state
their
mandates
assets
what
are,
that needs to be.
whatever they need to keep their minimum values to pay their and support their ongoing,
Pension requirements, yeah.
yeah,
Gotcha.
based on their actuarial projection.
It's a better
They
way to
tell
say
us
it.
how much we need to put aside.
Okay.
Correct. The next budget meeting is on March 28th. We will be covering facilities, technology, athletics, curriculum and staff development, community programs, health services, and personnel. It's also important to note that all budget presentations can be found on the district website. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to give my office a call. And thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Arcuri.
Will you be doing outreach later on, Mr. Arcuri?
Yes, we already have dates for Shoreham Civic, Wading River Civic Association, the high school PTSA is assembling them all together. I will put them on I usually present those dates after we adopt the budget, but I could, I will amend this particular slide to include those outreach dates.
Sorry for jumping the gun.
No, it's all good. Thank you.
Thank you. That's great that the civic groups are going to be able to meet with you this year. I know in the past, with COVID, they weren't able to get together.
Yes,
a
the
couple
only
times.
group that still does not provide us an opportunity is Leisure Glen. They really are just happy with the tax cap, and they're like, we can't raise our money no more, you're doing fine, and they're very happy, and they assure us that if anyone has any questions, they will give us a call, because we call them every year to go and present, so we're always available.
So the 6 years ago, was that the last time that we were
I
there?
want to say we were there the year before COVID, Mr. Poole's first year.
Oh, so even sooner, okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
they did a presentation, I think.
Right? Yeah, 2017, 18, it was,
18 school year, yeah.
Okay,
it was 2018, 19 was our last year
I
there.
think so, yeah.
okay.
Thank
Well,
you.
if anyone from Leisure Glen is watching, you're welcome to come to any of our meetings. Thank you for your support. Next, we have votes and resolutions. Can I get a motion to approve February 28th regular public meeting minutes? Tom, second Henry. All in favor? Any discussion or questions? All in favor? 6-0. We have a list of policies for a second read. Last meeting, Mrs. Mahoney read the memo. Can I get a motion to adopt these for second read as presented? Tom, second Megan. Any discussion or questions? All in favor? 6-0. We have one Board of Education resolution. Can I get a motion to approve 2022-23-268? Tom, second Megan. Any discussion or questions? All in favor? 6-0. We have one curriculum and instruction resolution, 269. Can I get a motion? Tom, second Mike. Any discussion or questions?
Nope.
All in favor? 6-0. For business and operations, can I get a motion to approve 270? There's only one of those as well. Tom, second Rob. Any discussion or questions?
Nope.
All in favor? 6-0. Can I get a motion to approve this evening's personnel agenda? Tom, second Mike. Any discussion or questions?
Nope.
All in favor? 6-0. Congratulations again to Mr. Halonia and Ms. Smith on receiving the tenure. right after this meeting, if you don't mind coming up for a photo. We just have one more communications, and then we'll be all set. For communications, Mrs. O'Mahony.
Thank you. So this year, 3 Board of Education trustee seats are open for the term July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2026. Board election candidate packets are available for pickup in the district clerk's office starting March 14th, which is today, and the last date to submit a candidate packet is Monday, April 17th, 2023. I also just wanted to make mention, as made official by resolution this evening, 2223269, the universal pre-kindergarten providers for the 23-24 school year will be St. Anselm's Academy and Scope Education Services. The UPK webpage will become active tomorrow and will provide information about both programs, give access to the UPK lottery application, and contain a link for frequently asked questions. This information will be posted under the announcements section on the district website. Thank you.
Thank you. Any discussion? No? Do we have any comments from residents?
No.
Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting? Tom, second Henry, all in favor? 6-0. Thank you. Okay, so we'll get a picture, I guess up here, we might as well do it up, or should we go,